So welcome to the very first episode of OneShot, a show we're creating to be I was going to say one stop, but that would defeat the purpose of the name of this podcast. So this is meant to be the one place you come to for TV, tech, movies, gaming, the whole shebang, everything that we at Tbreak cover and offer. My name is Danesh. Along with me are
Hello, everyone. Abbas here.
Hello, everyone.
and
Sam.
Sam is apparently quiet and shy and very conscious of himself right now. So we're waiting on him to warm up a bit. But yeah, that's basically what it is. So if you don't know, actually, let's introduce Tbreak, I guess. Yeah.
So if you are 20 years or younger, you probably don't know what Tbreak is. But if you are 40 plus, then you have definitely seen us around. We were the OG tech website based out of Dubai, and we launched in the early 90s. So almost 25 years ago now. That's a long time to be in tech. I think the only other company I share that history with is Apple. The two of us have been sort of around for as long as that. They're sitting on 2 trillion. I'm barely sitting on 2. But that's another story for another day. All right. So... yeah, I mean, we just cover everything related to tech. We recently changed our format a little bit. We decided to relaunch Tbreak earlier last year. And while we started with tech, which is sort of in our roots and blood, we also thought we'd play around with a few other categories, such as gaming, such as entertainment, such as cars, which is where you've probably seen Sam a lot. And then obviously we decided to up our social game as well, which is where you've seen Vanish a lot as well. Some more categories to sort of come in this year as well. But that, in a nutshell, is where we are with Tbreak. With OneShot, this podcast, as Anish mentioned, we sort of want to bring all of that together into one place. And, so at some point in time, we're going to do this live, which means that we literally have just one shot to do it, which is sort of also the reason why, it's called that. But yeah, with that, let's sort of kick things off with some of the new tech and gaming stories around in the last week. Sorry, let me also just mention that we're planning on recording every Thursday. So we're basically planning on covering the week before. And the reason we chose Thursday was it's a good day for us because you sort of look at the week behind you. Movie releases are also done around the weekend, so we can sort of look at that as well. Gives us a nice little place to sort of put everything together. And that's why you're probably going to see us every Thursday. If not, Lema Mara, she's the producer over here. If you don't see the episode turn up on Thursday, you can just write on.
We can give her till Friday if needed.
Fair enough.
All right, so let's move to the biggest story there is right now. That is Samsung's S24 series launch. I am not even joking. My social media, I guess that's because we live in this world, but like my social media is nothing else. There's nothing happening in this world except S24. And as a quick brief, if you don't know, the S24 series has been launched. There are 3 devices. There is the basic S24, there's the S24 Plus, and there is the S24 Ultra. For some strange reason, the S24 and S24 Plus look like iPhones this year, whereas the S24 Ultra looks absolutely spectacular. So, Abbas, why don't you tell me in terms of So we got to see them a little early. What was your initial impression?
So we've also got our review samples. So that's the S24 Ultra for you that you're going to start playing with as well. As Vanish mentioned, I think the S24 Ultra sort of just brings everything that Samsung's put together with last, Note series, S series, combine everything. Great cameras, great screen, stylus experience, and finally, the experience or the experiment that was curved screens is officially dead now with these new detectors. It was cool. It was futuristic when it came out and it looked very, very, very cool. Having those bendable screens and stuff was nice. But I think we, over the course of a couple of years of using them, we realized that, they look great, but from a functionality, from your finger recognition, exactly, you end up hitting the wrong thing while you're holding them, all of that. So all of that is done, and especially for the Note series, where you're writing notes. If you're writing something, suddenly it goes zoop. That's not necessarily the best experience on there. I'm glad. Yeah,
it was.
I'm glad.
It was extremely pointless. Listen, when it all came out with the, what was it, the Note 4 Edge? That was it, right? The Note 4.
No, it's one light. Yes, the first only one light. Yes.
At that point, I could even justify it with the fact that there was a bit of purpose attached to it. It showed notifications, like readable notifications. It was a small screen tab on the side. Over time, it just became this weird thing that was on the side of my phone, making it delicate to hold for no reason, served no purpose. Maybe some brands would give us that notification light nonsense. But I'm super thrilled that it is gone.
Yeah.
It is done for. Flat screens will all come back and life will be good again. So that was definitely a good thing to see.
Absolutely. From a specs perspective, it's literally the top of the line. You get the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is the latest processor. That's only on the Ultra end of region. If you're planning on getting the S24 Plus or the S24, the regular ones, you're going to get the Exynos 2400 version. Now, I don't know how good or bad that CPU is because we haven't played around. We haven't tested that out. Hopefully we will, and hopefully Samsung's done a better job this year than some of the other years that they've introduced Exynos-based models. Everything else is just top notch about this phone. The cameras are great. You've got the 200 megapixel sensor. They've downgraded the optical zoom lens from 10x to 5x.
Yeah.
Then in turn, they have upped the megapixel count for that zoom lens to 50 megapixels. So you're getting clearer shots, and then you can literally zoom into that 5x shot to get close to a 7 or 8x optical shot as well. So, from that perspective, no complaints whatsoever.
They've always led the charge as far as Zoom is concerned. I think they just realized that they don't need to go to the moon anymore. It makes more sense because that's exactly what I would love. I would love every phone to have a nice 2, 3, 5x optical zoom because that's the fun range. That's the range you use on a daily basis with portraits or with the zoomed in landscape shots. That's how you use it. So it's good to see them taking that step back. And I don't think they mentioned moon anywhere.
Not at all. No. I think that's done with. The biggest feature this year is obviously the AI smarts, Galaxy AI. So they've built a lot of little tweaks with AI, such as instant translation that's offline as well. You don't need to be connected, which I think is great. Then, you have this, I keep messing this name up, Danish. What is it? Circle to search with Google or
Circle to search with Google. You've got it.
I actually got it right.
Circle to search. Cool. Yeah. I think we can make a whole blooper video on you messing that up. I have that recorded that many times. But very simply speaking, the feature is pretty cool. It's coming only to S-Series, Samsung flagship devices and Google Pixels, whereby what they're going to do is basically you hold down the home button and it sort of flashes across your screen and then you circle what you want. And that can be anything on any app, anywhere. You could be watching a video of an influencer with a bag and you could just hold that button down, circle the bag, and we'll search it for you. So yeah, that really is cool. But I'm most excited for meeting notes, or transcribing of meeting notes,
automatic transcription of notes.
I think that's awesome. If 3 of us were sitting in a room today, we could put the S24 Ultra in between us, and it would just know who's speaking. It would define it as speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3. It would break the notes down. You can auto summarize the notes. You can translate the note. Wow, really, really cool feature.
Arabic support though?
So I think that's Arabic support coming because they made this clear to us that the local team here has to work on that. It's not something that global is going to work on.
Inshallah.
Now that the phone is out, they'll work on it. Inshallah. So yeah, man, lots and lots of AI integration. And what I like over here is that Samsung was like, okay, there's no need to reinvent the current quote-unquote AI wheel. So let's just integrate all these cool new things into our phone. So I think that's a pretty cool step they take.
I saw something on the one on the fly. Sorry for and you take an image. Let's say it's a dude with this on a skateboard, right? He jumps on a skateboard or whatnot. But you took the shot. He's off frame, and you can just select the guy and literally drag and move him over. And then there's a rabbit hole in the. I'm like, my PC is obsolete, right? I don't need to. It's generative AI on the phone, ready to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, from a camera perspective, they've done a couple of things. What they can do is if you've taken a shot and you want to zoom out, AI can actually fill that shot with crazy. When you saw that, I think that is pretty cool. There was one thing interesting that was mentioned in the keynote last night was that they mentioned that Instagram can now take the actual camera directly from there,
Okay.
which was interesting.
Time out. I'm sorry. Before you make this sound like it's a cool thing, they announced this, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have been trying this forever. Get it right. Don't make a claim. Don't tell anyone anything. Get it right. This is why iPhone is winning. This is the reason. No one gives a damn about your megapixels. No one gives a damn about shit. All they see is that I uploaded. I know non-techies who can recognize when an image has been uploaded from a non-iPhone device.
Very interesting.
Oh, you know what I'm loving right now? This is a podcast. I can screen for as long as I want. I don't have to restrict myself like on video. But yeah, this is not a big deal. I refuse to believe it until I see it in action.
Sam, do you want to break it to Danish that he is on video indeed?
Yeah, but I can go as long as I want, right? This is a podcast. So someone's like right now sitting in a car, like really bored. That's why they're listening to us. So it's okay. It's okay. They don't mind this rant. They're laughing right now while listening.
You know, the one thing I do miss is because everything's gone so mainstream. When the Note originally came out, and maybe we can come back to Sam to that, because I remember he was one of the first people who owned a Note device. I always looked at that device as an experimental device. You know, the curved screen kind of came to that, whereas the massive form factor came to, whereas Samsung wasn't afraid to experiment with the Note, which was also somewhat of a flagship phone for them. I used to love that about it, but now I think the Note's obviously gone away. It's integrated into the S series. It's all very mainstream. I mean, yes, they've refined the process in doing so, but I miss that. I miss that aspect of it. I genuinely do.
Yeah, I loved it. I had the Note 1. I had the Note 2. My wife also had the...
You had the OG Note?
Yeah.
And the Note
I can
2.
find a photo of going Satwa, buying the Note 1 or Note 2 for my wife. Fantastic. And I didn't utilize it actually so much for the pen functionality, but it sat in that sweet spot of ginormous screen and a phone, but it could still fit in your pocket. I did try rocking the Sony Z1 tablet. I used it as a phone for a week.
7-inch phone.
And impossible. No, it was bigger. It was a tablet. I got laughed at by everyone, but I did try rocking it. But that was a sweet spot.
Because I remember the first time I saw the Note, right? A friend of mine bought it day one. I lost my mind when I saw it. But I also remember saying, literally what Abbas just said, that this is an experiment. It's not going to stick around for too long. And I think that sort of journey it's taken, yes, you're absolutely right, Abbas. It was the experimental phone. A lot of fun stuff came to it. But also, like I said, right, people weren't shelling out the extra money for it. So it only made sense to merge it all into one series, especially because they knew they had foldables coming out. Remember, Notes had a separate launch. Notes had
Absolutely,
launch.
yes.
So
Absolutely, yes.
So I guess sorry.
No, one other thing that always surprised me about Note was how many women used to buy it. I mean, it was a massive, gigantic phone that I always assumed that men would use, but I was proven wrong. I mean, with the Note 4, Note 5, the number of women that I'd seen carrying that phone was quite interesting. Yeah, I was very surprised. In fact, I remember I brought this up to Samsung as well at one time, like, have you noticed? And they're like, very, very, very much so. So, it was just one of those, I'm assuming that, I don't know, maybe women like bigger phones or whatever it is. It was definitely one of those phones.
It's okay. It's after Samsung, the Chinese came around standing on stage with their CEOs saying, pink is for women. So, but on the overall, happy with the S24 bus? You think it's
too soon to tell? Too soon to tell. Yeah, I think the launch went based. I think them. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. The launch, but again, so I think this is more of a refinement of everything that they've been doing over the last 2 years. I mean, it's. I need some time to play with it. I definitely need some time to play with it. And look, I mean, it's also one of those phones where I have actually switched my SIM out of the iPhone and put it in here. So I'm going to use it full time for the next week. So, it's going to get a proper testing out of me. let's see how that goes.
For people who don't know Abbas, this is a very big deal. Abbas removing his SIM card is a big deal.
So I'm jumping in.
We'll wait and see what the update is in the next episode on Thursday or Friday.
All right, so moving on to some of the big stories that happened in the world of tech or gaming last week. We've got Microsoft that debuted Copilot Pro at $20 a month. Now, what this will allow is Windows users and Office users to use Copilot within it. And it's sort of a direct competitor to ChatGPT, which is also ChatGPT Plus. I think that's exactly what they're covering. So it's interesting, right? I mean, would you rather go with ChatGPT's $20 plan or Microsoft's, even though at the end of the day, both are using OpenAI? So you've got the both technology under it. The only difference that I see is that with Microsoft, you've got all the Office apps and stuff like that. So if you like having AI integration into that and possibly Windows as well, then I think that's great. But then on the other hand, ChatGPT's recently introduced these little, what do they call these little assistants or whatever?
Plugins.
Exactly. And that I think is a really good ecosystem. And if you want to take advantage of that, you need to have ChatGPT Plus subscription. So you've got two different ways of the same tech charging about the same. Which way would you guys go? Sam, let me start out with you. Like, which one would you prefer?
I think it depends if you're utilizing it from a productivity standpoint and you're using 365, then it makes 100% sense. If you're on G Suite, then it kind of, doesn't make so much sense from a productivity standpoint. But I haven't tried it. I'm very keen to try Copilot and give a more accurate thought on it.
Yeah. Danish, what about you? What do you think about these two?
I think I think they're attacking the market really well in the sense that I think ChatGPT in the long run is going to be more of a consumer product, and Copilot is going to be more one of those products that it's there already on this laptop that I bought, or this phone that I bought, or this app that I'm using. So let me just start using it. Whereas I think ChatGPT will need a bit of willingness to go there, to subscribe, to put the plugins in, to create your, let's say, characteristics to which ChatGPT will react to. So I think that they're like, okay, let's just go both paths. So either we get, because don't forget, right, there's so many people out there who just buy a device and then that device is the device to them. So I think that's what it's going to be, where they'll give prompts on laptops that, hey, you have a new laptop, it's got Copilot. Would you like to try it? Okay, you tried it. Would you like to pay for it? And so on and so forth.
Yeah, not just that, but I think Microsoft's actually introduced a new key to the Windows keyboard, which is a Copilot key. I think this was about 2 weeks ago, where all laptops and keyboards will have a key for Copilot directly. So you're absolutely right. I think anyone buying a new Windows laptop will have that sort of, just window into it. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think that's where.
Cool. Okay. Moving on, the second story we have for this week is Apple Vision Pro. So it was finally announced that it's going to go on. This is a very sticky subject for Danish, so we're going to have to treat it very carefully.
I physically reacted to that. I didn't mean to physically react to it, but then I did. And then I tried to stop myself, and now my neck.
So let me just give you a quick background. Danish was willing to fly to the US to go and buy the Vision Pro. But then I think his dreams were shattered when we found out that the device might not necessarily work with its full capabilities in the Middle East. So anyways, coming back to it, pre-order starts, when was it today? Is it today? 19 tomorrow. And the device ships 2nd of February. Interesting that you need Face ID to place an order, because I think Apple's sort of measuring something along your face for the fitting of it. And just, I don't know if are they going to ship it to you, or will you need to go to a store to pick it up?
Right now, you have to go to the store and get a 25-minute demo of the device, where they will show you how to do it. And first and foremost, what they do is they do the physical adjustments of the strap of it on your eyes. If you pay extra, you can also get the thingy, the lenses, people who have power. And then they sit you through a training process whereby they first you have to teach the Vision Pro how your eyes work, because your eyes are the cursor to select everything. So that's the first thing they do. Then they teach you how to tap, because apparently, because you're not used to it, you can't just go tap and then leave your fingers like this. like this. Sorry, what I'm doing right now is tapping my fingers and leaving my index and my thumb together. Where you have to just lightly tap and let go, lightly tap and let go, and that's the click. Now they say that once you start doing it, it is very intuitive and you are very much like you will totally get it. But yeah, point being, in-store 25-minute process.
That sounds so un-Apple-like, because Apple devices are supposed to be ones that you just pick up and go. Anyone can use them at any time. If you need a 25-minute demo just to kind of sort of, get you used to that device, doesn't sound very Apple-like to me. Just doesn't sound very Apple-like to me.
To be very honest with you, I heard the opposite. When I heard about this entire process, I was like, this is the most Apple thing ever. Because they want you to feel like they are creating this unheard of world where let's take Meta for example. It was just one day this big presentation. They're like, we have new device, here you go, thanks very much. But I think here they want to do the opposite, and I think they're learning from the mistakes of people previously, right? Now, for example, let me give you an example. When we talk about the Vive, the first VR product, right? I remember getting it at home. Same thing, HTC announced Vive. HTC sent me a big box, and then I'm at home and I'm figuring out the space requirements for those little monitor things which know where you are in the room and all that stuff. And I'm like figuring out the cables and the requirement of the laptop required. I had to ask, I remember Acer for a powerful laptop that could handle all this processing power. So my point is, I think that they're doing the opposite, where they're taking you into this process where they'll sit you down in that Apple-esque manner, and they'll be like, the exclusive touch and the way it feels and the 4K displays and the and the integrated apps and all that stuff. So I think in my opinion, it's the most Apple thing.
I think you can tell why Danish really wants the Vision Pro now. You literally see that passion in him just coming out.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you guys, I'm not even joking, guys. It has been that day when this announcement happened was a genuine emotional breakdown for me. I was like, I cannot deal with this. I have to figure it out. My wife saw a side of me she has not seen in the 4 years we've been together. It was an absolute party, but it's okay. I've made my peace with it. I've accepted my position in the world right now. And yes, I will let you know the update after my next therapy session.
So the reason that I'm not super excited about it is like every single VR set that I've tried has given me a headache. So I'm not sure if Vision Pro is going to change that, because reading some of the initial opinion, because they are out, I've heard that does happen to people. You feel that. So I don't think it's going to be one for me.
When I read the same thing, I was like, oh no, Bas can't get it.
Yep.
Though apparently Apple is looking at working on some sort of control mechanism where motion internally would feel lesser for people who are very sensitive to it. So that's why they took a bunch of feedback in. So most reviewers who've got access to it have done 3 to 4 rounds with the Vision Pro. Apparently it was the second round where this questioning happened. And that was one. And the other feedback that most people said, which was a bit varied, was the weight.
Yeah,
some people have distinctly, like MKBHD distinctly spoke about the weight, but I forget who the person was, but one of the journalists was like, I didn't how it, and I was fine. I literally was just looking at their necks. I was like, okay, this guy's a small neck, this guy's a big neck, like, this is how it's going to work. And that's why there are memes everywhere of people doing like head workouts just to boost the Vision Pro. But yeah, no,
it was interesting you brought the HTC Vive, because I remember we had come and set it up at the office as well. And I know Sam loves it, because we had this little room where we have placed all the sensors. Sam, what was it game that you played? Space Cowboy?
Space Pirates, I think.
Space Pirates, was it? Something along those lines. But I remember like we used to have competitions of that game, and those were fun times. Those for me, fun time.
For me, the Vive was straight up. So I had this when I worked at Gulf News. I had access to an unlimited number of people. I'd set it up in a room, get them, and then just make videos of them falling and banging their heads and stuff like that. But yeah, that was a different time. I think that's exactly what the Vision Pro is here to change.
Let's see. I'm still a skeptic on that, so let's see. I mean, maybe once you get yours, I'll try and turn on there's a guest mode apparently in it, right? For your friends to try it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so let's see how that goes. Cool. And our last story for the week is Instagram founders are shutting down their news app called Artefact after just 1 year. That's sad because I was actually using the app. I really liked it. I haven't used it as much in the last month or two, but when it initially launched, I think the UI was great. I think it's one of those things where more than the app itself, it's a problem that the industry needs to tackle because it's somewhat AI based and it looks at what people are reading to then sort of surface that content up. The problem was that with clickbaity headlines, people start obviously tapping on that. And once you start tapping on that, the AI thinks that these are stories that people are reading. And then it puts them in front of even more people. So it's just one of those things where it's an interesting problem. I'm not sure how that gets solved with AI. I really don't know. But it was a good app. It was a good news app. Took sources from places that you like. Free content, obviously. Nothing that's behind paywalls, but free content that's available to you in a nice interface. Allows people to comment on stories from all across the web. So that was kind of nice of it. And it's kind of sad that even after just 1 year, they're sort of giving up on them. Obviously, they have the pockets to support that. I mean, they sold Instagram to Facebook and they made billions of dollars on that. So, it's not a matter of them not being able to afford it, but they must have seen something that obviously you and I can't behind the scenes as to, why they don't think it's worth sort of going forward with it. But yeah, that would sort of be the end of Artefact as we know it. Short-lived, sweet, nice, but let's see what else they come up next.
To be fair, I didn't know of this app until it shut down. So...
Me too.
I guess we kind of know now why it never really.
And I literally asked you, Abbas, right? Is it like something like Flipboard? Because I love Flipboard. That was cool.
Yep. Okay, so moving on to TV and entertainment, let's look at 3 of the releases that are sort of coming out this week. True Detective is back for season 4 on OSN. The first season was phenomenal. I did not see the second and 2, but the first season was just incredible. Danish, I believe you've seen it. Sam and I were talking about it just earlier, and he hasn't seen it. But Danish, what are your thoughts on True Detective coming back?
Oh man, True Detective first season was one of the greatest pieces of television ever, to the extent I watched the whole thing on a binge, and then I felt bad that I watched the whole thing on a binge. So I watched it again, episode by episode, once in it, one day at a time, just to get that, to let episodes sink in. But this is the 4th season, right?
4th season.
Yeah.
That's right.
Second season started, wasn't great because just came off to a higher horse. Didn't finish it. Third season never watched.
Okay. No, but Jodie Foster starts in this 4th one. So, our producer Amara seen the first episode and she loved it. She thought it was brilliant. So yeah, definitely something to put on the list. The second TV show that's coming back is Walking Dead, which I kind of stopped I stopped watching after episode 34, 40, 50. I don't know. They just kept going on and on and on with that show. And it was just one of those shows that was ready to just kind of die. But I don't know. They just kept making more and more and more out of it. So that is back with 4 different spin-offs, starting 4 different spin-offs. And it's on Stars Play. I guess people missed it maybe after it was gone. It was just one of those things that becomes a part of your life, which you hate, but it's still there. And once it's not there and you start missing it.
So 1 second. So so the 4 spin-offs are parallel timelines that are happening all together?
So I think they're taking different characters from different parts of the timeline, and the journey continues for each of these characters in a different space kind of stuff. So hats off to them for doing 4 together. That's unprecedented, especially for a show that not many people cared about. But, I guess they're going there. Hopefully, I'll tell you.
Guys, I will tell you how this happened. Bunch of producers sat in a room and they're like, guys, did you see how The Last of Us show how well the show did? Right? I think people
zombies are again.
Yeah, the zombies are back. Should we do the show again? No, guys, I have an idea. Let's split it into 4, overdo it so much, and then wonder why did he hit.
Seriously. And then finally, the third thing we have for you guys is that our favorite action character is back. Liam Neeson is back again on the screen in an action movie. This one is called In the Land of Saints and Sinners, where he's undercover and, he doesn't want anyone to know his identity, but apparently some bad guys come in on an island. Of course they do, where he has to sort of fight them, which can end up revealing his identity, which he doesn't want to do. Typically,
Yeah. I don't think the man has done anything since Take.
He was such a good actor. What happened? He was a great actor from what I remember.
I don't think he ever recovered from his relationship with Helen Mirren.
Oh, is that it?
I don't know. No, I mean, they were together. They were really together. But the reason I'm joking about this is because I saw them on an episode of Graham Norton some years ago. And one of those, when an ex acts really desperate in front of that person and that partner is just acting all cool. That was Ellen Mirren. He's just like a young kid, talking about when they lived together. And she's like, dude. So random tidbit in our OneShot podcast.
Oh, wow. Okay, then. All right. Yeah, so I guess those are the new movies that are coming out this week, movies and TV shows. All right, so moving on to our gaming segment, we've got Muffy joining us, and as you can clearly see, he's the gamer again. With us with the RGB mic and everything all set up for him. Well, headphones, RGB mic, Muffy, you're all set up. So tell us about Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which is releasing this week. Tell us what it's about and why should we play it.
Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is Ubisoft's new side-scroller action platform. It's like Prince of Persia started as a side-scrolling game.
I remember that.
But yeah, it's been pretty old. I had the game on a floppy drive, if I remember correctly. So it's been a while.
Yes,
it's been a while. Yeah. But since
I was
then,
in college, I remember that.
Yeah. But since then, the franchise has gone to a 3D game. But now finally they have brought it back to its roots, and shockingly, for me at least, because it's Ubisoft and Ubisoft games are a little hit and miss at times, but Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is fantastic. It's a Metroidvania game, so side-scroller, lots of action platform puzzles. Yes, Danish.
Question. So okay, for people who don't know, I could not game to save my life. If someone asked me to literally save my actual life, I would end up dying. Side scroller. That means
so the 2D plane. So the character
okay. Now
goes from the side.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Yes.
Yep. Double Dragon,
guys,
Ghost and Goblins,
Spanish language, English. Shut up. No, I'm joking. It's saying. Sorry. Please continue. Side scroller and Metroidvania. I love
Metroidvania. Yeah, that's two games merged into one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're also Souls-like. Let's put the third genre in there.
No, it's not Souls-like.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, huge sprawling map. It branches out. You can discover certain parts of the map after you have unlocked a power, and lots of puzzles. Action platforming puzzles are there, but the best part about the game is that the controls are superb. It is perfect. I didn't expect Ubisoft to nail this part. Not that they're bad in that sense, but
No,
but and because it's their first game of this kind besides Rayman, and Rayman's control was slightly floaty like Mario, but this one is just absolutely perfect. And this genre of games live and die on the controls, and it's absolutely perfect. So yeah, I mean, for those who want to play these kind of this style of game, it is fantastic, and many are saying that this is a game of the year.
Wow. Already in January.
Yeah. So Ubisoft started the year with a bang with that game.
Nice. So let me just quickly ask you this, Nuff. And one of the reasons why I don't play as many games anymore is that the controls have become so complicated. You've got buttons everywhere on the front, on the back, blah, blah, blah. I mean, my old days of gaming, there were literally just two buttons, jump and attack and joystick. That's it. And I remember playing Prince of Persia with just those controls. Like you literally have to up, down, left, right, and then, you either attack or you jump or whatever else. With this new version, do you have to use like all 20 buttons on the gamepad, or have they sort of simplified it for the old gamers in us, or what is it?
I wouldn't say it's simplified. Like, I mean, I don't have this kind of thing, so I don't know what is hard for you and what is easy. But I mean, the basics are you side scroll and you jump and you attack. But then there are like you get powers, you get abilities that you have to use the
Other buttons.
buttons. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll give it a shot. I think I pre-bought it. Yeah, whatever that word is. I think today is the day it's starting to sort of download and release on the Xbox.
Sorry, what platforms?
I bought it on the Xbox, but Murphy, go ahead.
The game is on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Which one did you play it on?
PS5.
Okay. All right.
You could have just said PS.
I mean, it's on PS4 as well. I mean,
Yeah, see?
want to be a little more specific.
Awesome.
Cool. So yeah, I guess if there's a game that you want to play, potentially a game of the year, do check out Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Thanks, Mel, for dropping in with that.
All right, so that was the very first episode of OneShot. We hope you enjoyed. We will have little blurbs all across social media. The full version will be available across platforms as well as on YouTube. So myself, Abbas, Sam, and Mof, and Amara in the background, who will not say anything. Thank you from us. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you in next week's episode.
Bye-bye.